Now, authorities at the Lebombo border post are now beginning to work through the backlog of cargo trucks that were stuck en route to Mozambique. The border reopening yesterday in the afternoon after the abrupt closure, necessitated, of course, by the volatile situation on the other side of the border. To discuss the impact of this on the truck drivers and the logistics processes that have been affected, I'm now joined by Gugu Sokhela, who is the General Secretary of the All Truck Drivers Forum and Allied South Africans. Nzuza, good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on this afternoon. Firstly, is it, in your opinion, now safe to resume the use of that corridor and processing of trucks?
Yes, let me greet you and the viewers at home. We are very much glad that there is now starting to be movement on the borders since our fellow drivers have been stuck there for some days. And on behalf of the organization, we would like to send our condolences to the families who lost their loved ones, and we wish the ones that got injured a speedy recovery.
There are still fears of flare-ups, of tensions and more protests, I suppose. And there's been two challenges. One, there are challenges on this side of the border in terms of being stuck at the border, security, water, food, ablution facilities, and just general security. But on the other side, there is, of course, that fear of violent protests and attacks. How do you feel as an association these things have been handled by authorities and by your employers?
We are very much worried since we know, as you have mentioned, that some of our South African drivers have been there without food, without drinking water, without toilets, without not being able to take a bath and all of that. But for now, we are just hoping for the best, and because we know that as most of the truck drivers or the trucking companies normally pay drivers according to loads and kilometers. So since they have been there, they have not been earning anything because trucks were not moving. South African drivers or South African companies are paying drivers according to the load system and the kilometer system. So as long as the truck is not moving, the drivers themselves as well are not getting anything out of it.
So in times of protest, I mean, what do you suggest should be happening as far as guaranteeing, especially that aspects which you raised? Because if truck drivers are stuck at the border, it simply means they are not earning, because their earning capacity is based on how much load they were able to carry through.
Yes, look, for us as an organization, because ours, the main priority is our South African drivers or any truck driver. Although we do not have such authority to say, for now, let us stop sending staff, let us stop getting staff from Mozambique until the situation is clear, because we don't want any people or anyone losing their lives. Since the situation that side is not guaranteed what is going to be the actual outcome, for us as an organization, it was going to be saying that for now, let's stop the operations going into Mozambique and out of Mozambique until everyone is certain that no, the situation has gone back to normal, because we cannot risk the safety of our South African drivers.
Yeah, I read a story of one of the drivers who says his documents, for example, would have been taken, wallets and so on and so forth. He just really managed to escape with a loaf of bread and was in hiding overnight. I mean, what is your sense around the operations, how they are monitored, early warning systems that are able to tell drivers of impending danger?
The first thing that we've been proposing to government as the ATDF is that the trucking industry should be regulated, because if it's regulated, then it would mean it has rules and policies that need to be followed. Because at the moment, trucking companies are just doing as they please, and there is no consequences of what they're doing. No one is behind their backs. No one is checking whether what they're doing is correct, because the warnings were there. It's not just something that just happened out of the blue. The warnings were there. Obviously, plans were supposed to be put into place. The trucks, maybe trucks should park to the nearest truck stops near to the border gate. It's just similar to what has happened to the snowing here in South Africa a month ago. The warnings were there, but no measures were taken. It's a similar situation in Mozambique. Warnings are there. We are being told that this is what is going to happen, but still there are no measures. So the only thing that can help us is that the industry can be regulated and have rules and laws that every operator has to follow, because they are risking the drivers' lives, and it's the drivers that are there in the forefront of bearing the risk and all of that.
Is that risk covered? As you're bringing the question of risk, I wanted to find out if the drivers are covered against that risk on their security and their livelihoods, really.
They are not. They are not covered. We've had incidents where drivers would be hijacked, sometimes killed out of that hijacking, and only to find that the company will give out maybe 7,000 rand to the family, and that's all. It's not traceable. No one can trace it. Sometimes you find that employers would say, once the driver has passed away, they'd say, no, I don't know such person. I've never hired a such person. Those are the main reasons that are making us to say, let the industry be regulated. Let everyone who's operating in the industry be known who he is and all of that, because most of the companies are not even registered, So it's very difficult, and it's unlikely that an unregistered company can have a risk policy for its employers.
Nzuza, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. Gugu Sokhela, as General Secretary of the Truck Drivers Forum and Allied of Southern Africa. Now,